Hello, David here at merchantaccounts.ca. Today we're going to talk about Shopify payment processing and how you can try to lower those costs. Stay tuned, we'll dig in 1 second. In e-commerce, there are three components. The shopping cart, which is Shopify in this case. The payment gateway, which receives the technical transaction request. It's the programming thing that the shopping cart talks to ask a payment to be processed. And the merchant account. The merchant account's the money part of it. That's where money goes when you process a payment. Of those components, one of those three parties is exposed to significant financial risk, and that's the merchant account. The Visa and MasterCard rules state that if there's ever a dispute between a merchant and their customer, the cardholder, then that cardholder is entitled to get their money back via the chargeback process. This could be for non-delivery, item not as described, service not rendered, etc. In all those cases, the payment processor, when the dispute comes through, has to put their own money back into a dispute reserve while they go to seek to get those funds back from the merchant. This is all about chargebacks. So why am I talking about this? Well, the shopping cart software and the payment gateway are not exposed to any losses from chargebacks, zero. When Shopify charges a 1.5% fee because you process payments externally, meaning you don't use Shopify payments, it's essentially like a royalty or a gross dollar override on the volume processed by your business. Unlike your payment processor, who charges 2% or whatever per transaction, Shopify is not exposed to chargeback losses. I can't qualify. I'm not here to say whether that's a good value or not. That's for every business owner to decide. Maybe Shopify is so easy and it resonates so well with how it's administered that you love it, it's well worth it. But I do get customers that ask about it. And so the job of the shopping cart software is to display your items for sale, calculate the fees, the shipping that your customer is going to pay, and power the website, which means that the fees equivalent to like a brick and mortar shop, like if you had a commercial brick and mortar space. And it's kind of would be like if you had a shop, like a pizza shop, your landlord popping in once a month and saying, hey, give me 1.5% off the top of all the pizzas that you sold. It's a very apt analogy. If you own that pizza shop and you're paying rent, which you pay a subscription fee to Shopify, why are you also giving them a percentage of your overall sales? Most shopping carts don't do this. There is an argument that some merchants make that the shopping cart shouldn't get a portion of the sales because you're already subscribing to pay for the software. So if you've done that, what can you do? Well, there's other shopping cart platforms that don't do that. I believe BigCommerce, FoxyCart, Magento, WooCommerce, very few, I don't know of off the top of my head, any other shopping carts that take a percentage-based override of your sales, although in fairness, I'm sure there's some out there that do. What can you do? Option one, upgrade to a more expensive Shopify package. They do have a package that reduces the fee to 0.5%. We also have some clients with historic Shopify accounts before they started doing this a long time ago, and they don't pay any percentage-based fee. But all you can do is upgrade to a more expensive program if you want to keep Shopify in its default state. That will reduce it. Option two, use a third-party platform to take over the Shopify checkout flow. I know that there's other platforms out there that are integrated into Shopify and will take over the checkout flow. So Shopify is powering your website. When the customer clicks checkout, it actually brings up an overlay outside of Shopify. The transaction happens through that checkout funnel, and afterward, Shopify is updated and the transaction is marked as a cash sale. I can't say if that's good or bad. It might be against Shopify's terms and conditions or terms of service with you as a customer using their software platform, but I do know that people might do it, or people do it. Option three, migrate away from Shopify. On a recent episode of our podcast, there's a company that I spoke to called Cart to Cart. What they do is they specialize in taking your product data and moving it from Shopify to Magento or WooCommerce to BigCommerce, whatever. But they help you do that, and they're not the only ones. So you can just migrate away from Shopify to a new platform. Huge pain. I guarantee that's not going to just happen like a snap of your hands, but if it's going to save you 1.5% per transaction, is it a good value? Well, I don't know because I don't know about your business. But if you're processing high transaction volumes, then it is something to consider. And ultimately, if you choose to use Shopify, you're agreeing to use their penalty that you have to pay if you don't use Shopify payments, which is often more expensive than you'd pay if you have your own dedicated merchant account. As the business grows, you might eventually get to the point where you don't want to pay that fee. And if you get there, you'll have to decide of whether you want to migrate off the platform or use one of the other options. If you'd like to get advice on how to switch to a different shopping cart that doesn't charge a fee for payment process, for the payments that are run through your shopping cart, reach out to us at merchantaccounts.ca. I hope this was helpful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Bye now.